guys, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I'm doing top 5 storylines and arcs. So what exactly are storylines and arcs? Well, I would say that they are pretty much stories that span over multiple episodes or even seasons. And I pretty much want to talk about in this video what my top 5 favorite stories that Ninjago has told. And these can be character arcs or just general plot arcs or anything of the sort. So let's get started. So before we start the top 5, I have a little honorable mention to make. This would have probably been put in 6th place, but it is the Cursed Realm storyline, which essentially is the main story that connected Season 4 and Season 5. So these are the two seasons that really did introduce the 16 Realm concept, and it all started with the Cursed Realm. The Cursed Realm's threat is really developed throughout these two seasons, and it all starts in Season 4 when we learn where the Anacondrai generals are, and in the end, many of the characters from Season 4 are sent here by the end of the season. In Season 5, we literally get to see the ninja battling a giant octopus that is in the form of the Cursed Realm, or the Cursed Realm in the form of a giant octopus, I should say. And I thought it was really well done. It was nice to learn that there's more than just Ninjago, and it was also really cool to learn more about these darker realms like the Cursed Realm, and it was fun to see other realms return as well in that episode 54, I think. But yeah, anyways, I think it was really cool to get to learn more about the Cursed Realm, and Season 6 also followed its Destruction's aftermath, so you could include Season 6 in the Cursed Realm storyline if you think. But anyways, on to the top 5. For 5th place, and speaking of Morro, I have Morro's character arc and the way he develops throughout Season 5, and I think his entire arc from Rise to Power and Fall from Power is just plain awesome. I especially love the incorporation of the backstory into his arc and where he kind of comes from. And yeah, Morro is essentially, he was going to be the Green Ninja, and that never really happened. So in the end, he got really angry, he threw a temper tantrum, and he ended up dying in the process. Later in Season 4, by the end of Season 4, he has returned, and he's determined to sick the giant octopus on Ninjago. And yeah, I think Morro's arc is just very cool because he's full of vengeance, and he used to be a good guy. He is a ninja, and he is the ghost ninja, and I think that's what's super cool about his arc. But what I really love is his ending. The ending of his arc is perfect, and this is why I would never want Morro to become a ninja. His death scene is just perfect, and I don't really want him to return back from the dead. I don't want him to return in the series, and that is probably an unpopular opinion, but that is just because of the perfect ending that they gave his character arc. I love how, in the end, he realizes he did the wrong thing, and he dies, but not before redeeming himself and, making it all up to Wu in the end. And this is why his return to Day of the Departed had a lot of people concerned, but in the end, they definitely made the right decision with keeping him good in Day of the Departed. In 4th place, I put both of Lord Garmadon's 2 character arcs throughout the series. His first arc, which kind of spanned from the pilots to Season 5, and his second arc, which is Season 8 to the present day. And I'll talk about both of them one by one. So his first arc all started off with the pilots and his Lord form to his Sensei form to his first death. And I think what I really love about it is how they concluded it. Again, I think conclusion is really everything. And just like why I love Morro's arc, I love Garmadon's arc because it is just concluded in the perfect way. And his departure from the series is done really well. Garmadon has been the original antagonist since day one, and in the first 2 seasons and the pilots, he is that main antagonist, and I think that's what I love about that. But he does turn good, and that's a major stepping stone in his arc. He does turn good, and that leads to some adventures in the next 2 seasons. Season 3 doesn't add much to his arc, but Season 4 is where stuff really starts to get interesting. He has that love triangle drama with Misako and his brother, and then he later sacrifices himself, which is his first departure from the series. Then later in Season 5, Lord revisits him for the last time, and that is his true departure, his final scene from the series, and he's dead. Technically, that should have been the end of Garmadon, but it wasn't. He got revived in Season 8, and they kind of did ruin this arc, but luckily they've created a really nice second arc for Garmadon that started in Season 8 and is still going on right now. His new arc essentially starts with him in Season 8 being the reborn zombie version of Lord Garmadon, and, there's nothing much to him in Season 8, but Season 9 really builds on it all with Emperor Garmadon really taking the throne and becoming the intimidator, that true Garmadon that we had seen back in the day, while Season 10 has a totally different neutral form of him who contemplates his own existence, and I think that second arc, as much as it kind of destroyed the first arc's ending, the second arc is just really cool for him as well. Big surprise here, no secret that I love Tournament of Elements, so this did make the list. I just love the Tournament of Elements storyline and Anacondrai storyline, And I've talked about this a lot, so I won't spend too much time on this. But what I love about it, and if you haven't seen my ranking the season video, I will explain it. I explained this also in that video. But yeah, anyways, what I love about this storyline is the complexity, the plot twists, how you don't really see the Anacondrai storyline coming. And there's just so much that is weaved into this Tournament of Elements storyline. You have tons of new characters, you have great fight scenes, and you also have Nia's spy mission. While at the same time, later in the season, you also have the Anacondrai, learning more about them, and new elemental powers as well, such as the elemental dragons, and all of that kind of stuff, and for that reason, I really love the Tournament of Elements storyline. In the runner-up position, I have the Oni and Dragon quote-unquote trilogy, which ran from Season 8 to Season 10, and tells many stories, but the overarching story is about the return of the Oni and all of that stuff, but also major stories throughout this arc are Garmadon's return, and the introduction of a brand new realm, as well as a brand new race. And I think this trilogy is great because it is I think it's probably the longest storyline Ninjago's ever seen. And I think it's awesome that we got to see after, the last time we had seen seasons that really did focus on one story was probably Season 1 and Season 2. And I think it was really cool to see seasons that had one story that connected them all again. And this runs throughout 2 full seasons and 1 tiny season. So 3 seasons in total. And the Oni and Dragon trilogy is just done wonderfully. Except for the conclusion, I'd say the conclusion is super rushed, but I feel like the intro and the middle part of this trilogy are great. It introduces new races, you get the Dragon Hunters, you get to see dragons again, but you also get to see the menacing Oni, and you also get to see, I've already talked about Garmadon's arc, so I won't do that again, but you also get to see Garmadon's development from his reborn phase to a more neutral phase, and I think all of that is done really, really well in this, and I think it's super cool to see the introduction of a new realm, and it was perfect for the post-movie seasons, just starting over again, starting fresh with an entire new storyline, while also wrapping up some of the points that were brought up from the Season 7 Hands of Time. Yet another big surprise. Aren't you guys loving these surprises? Anyways, for the first place, I have the Dark Island / Final Battle storyline from Season 2, but this is essentially developed since Season 1. And I said this in Saturday's video, but I think had Season 2 not had the Mega Weapon arc, I really think this would have been my favorite season. It just feels so amazing, and it's really been developed from the start. And I think the storyline really is perfect. It explores a new side of Ninjago, and it introduces the Dark Island, which is really cool. But with that, it also introduces the Overlord, who is Ninjago's ultimate evil, the biggest baddie out there up until, Season 8, where the Oni come around? But yeah, anyways, continuing by that, I really love how the Overlord fights Lloyd. Those are my favorite scenes. I'm a huge fan of the final battle, and it just feels like the culmination of everything had led up to that point. And I really love the plot twist of the Overlord possessing Garmadon, and all of that is very cool, especially the Overlord's transformation into a dragon, as well as Lloyd's transformation from a young kid to the ultimate Spinjitzu master, and it's just done wonderfully. I really love how Lloyd loses the first final battle fight, but then comes around to win the second one. And I think that's great, especially how the first one is done on the Dark Island. But in the end, it all comes back to Ninjago City. And I think the exploration of new locations, especially these historic locations in this season, such as the Celestial Clock or the Temple of Light, and it's just all really cool. There's so many great scenes in this arc. And even the return of Zane's father, and that they spend an entire episode focusing on that. And I feel that it's just great. They do away with the Serpentine for this arc when they introduce an entirely new ancient race, an ancient army, as well as the Overlord. And it also brings an end to Garmadon's arc, although later it would continue. But this was supposed to be the original end of the show, and I don't think there could have been a more perfect ending. So that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, share with everyone you know, and let me know what you guys thought of my rankings, as well as listing your own rankings for top 5 storylines and arcs or character arcs down in the comment sections below. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.